After a tiresome day at work, most are left exhausted. A delicious meal and restful sleep is on the minds of many after a long day at the office. But imagine, just imagine amid those thoughts, some workaholic executive pings you for something urgent, making it seem like it will be the end of the world if you don't address this query. Most can certainly relate. But this vicious cycle of no work-life balance might soon come to an end in Australia. The Australian government has decided to address this nagging issue as it prepares to roll out laws against those who don't understand that people actually do have a life outside of work. It's called the right to disconnect. Australian workers can soon say bye-bye to those pesky work emails and calls after logging off from work. Our latest report gives the details.
An evening plan with friends cancelled to hop on an unplanned Zoom call. Your partner, children, or parents waiting for you to join them at the dinner table as you struggle to complete and send that Excel demanded last minute. Waking up from deep slumber after an urgent text from your boss. Well, if you're in Australia, you could hit a snooze button on all such problems. The Australian government is giving employees the right to ignore. Yes, you heard that right. Nobody likes to see their boss's name flash on their phone after wrapping up the day at work. But some do find a way, and those who do need to beware. In what's being touted as a groundbreaking legislation for workers, Australia will introduce new laws giving workers the right to disconnect. The law will surely make bosses sweat, as workers will soon have the power to hit ignore on those pesky after-hours calls and texts from their bosses. So hooroo work emails at 2 a.m. This move aims to restore work-life balance and protect employees' rights. Under the proposed bill, employees will be shielded from unreasonable demands from their bosses during non-working hours. We're talking fines for employers who dare to disturb the peace outside of office hours. Workers can report their employees to Australia's Fair Work Commission if they fail to comply. It's the right to disconnect, and it's about time. The right to disconnect is part of a broader set of changes to industrial relations laws. They're aimed at safeguarding workers' well-being. Similar laws already exist in several European countries, including France, Belgium, and Spain. Along with these, the Australian government also wants to define what casual work is. They want to set minimum standards for gig workers like taxi drivers and food delivery drivers. Employers might also have to give them superannuation, which is the retirement pension benefit fund in Australia. A bunch of senators are actually getting behind this idea. In a significant development, a majority of senators have expressed their support for the legislation. Employment Minister Tony Burke is waving the flag for protecting the workers' rights. He highlighted the importance of protecting employees from unpaid overtime and unreasonable contact outside of work hours. But hold on, everyone's not on board with the party train. Politicians, employer groups, and corporate leaders have raised concerns. They're worried about its potential impact on flexibility in the workplace and competitiveness. Some say that if it's completely left to the Fair Work Commission to decide the minimum standards for freelancers, then they might end up getting the rights of an ordinary employee. This might undermine the purpose of gig work, after which they can work whenever they want and say no to whatever they don't like. The bill is expected to be introduced in Parliament later this week. If passed in the Parliament, the bill will become a legal right. It will set the national standard, but it will still take some time to become a reality for workers.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.